I've been looking forward to making this comparison for a long, long time. Mostly because I have been wanting a new Marvel Legends comic War Machine for a long, long time. And finally, I can say I am doing new versus old of the original Toy Biz Marvel Legends War Machine, which is a retool of the very first Marvel Legends Iron Man from the very first Marvel Legends wave, to the brand new Deluxe War Machine. And these guys are a little more similar than you would think. They come with very similar effect pieces. They obviously looked at this when they made this, and they're like, okay, we're gonna like steal some of your homework, but we're actually the smart kid in the class, and we're actually gonna make it good. This guy, I just want to get it straight, because some people may ask, some people may be curious. They may say, I had to blow a hair off of it, they may say, oh, that's an upscale of the old Iron Man 2 comic War Machine. And it's not. I looked at it, very similar, especially with effect parts. You can see he's got a blast there and he's got missiles there, very similar. But this is newly developed. I mean, it is based off of the 80th anniversary Iron Man mold, which, so I don't mind that. And this is just a Marvel Universe figure that's really good. Honestly, I did say just take this design and upscale it and you'll be fine. There's your Marvel Legends War Machine. And that's essentially what they did. That's what we finally gotten. And this guy, it's so funny. He was actually hard to get. I think I had to pay around $30 for him. Because this was our only option for like a comic War Machine, a classic comic War Machine for our collections for the longest time. For Marvel Legends, this was it. And finally, we have the be-all, end-all, the Supreme War Machine for the comic Marvel Legends. Is it as good as like the Amazing Yamaguchi one? It's kind of more of like an MCU armor. No, but that's like comparing apples and oranges. It's not fair to compare a Marvel Legend that costs like $20, $30 to an import that costs more than twice that. It's not fair. But this is a classic comic War Machine in Marvel Legends. And this is a classic comic War Machine in Marvel Legends. It's fair to compare and just reminisce on how far action figure technology has come in this time, because obviously it's come a long way. Alrighty, we've kind of gotten the gist of I keep knocking into the camera. Oh my gosh, I've gotten the comparison of like their existence out of the way. Let's talk about the old one. Let's talk about the base figure and just like the physical accessories. So you have this Gatling gun over here that actually rotates. That's kind of cool. Not needed, but cool. You have this missile pod that can actually rotate and hinge up and down, which is cool. Even though all those kind of clash with the head, and this can't really look up, it just pops out. And it has a handle on it too, which is odd. And it's attached with a tube. Interesting. But yeah, that's odd. And then you have this, which just dangles. It's just the ammo. It just dangles. It's not bad. It comes out really easy. I mean, I can see why someone may just want to leave that off. But, hey, you know, it's a part of the look. He does have new parts. He has, like, a new armor piece where it covers the shoulders. He's got new, kind of like forearm missiles, which look decent. But his hands are still meant to do the repulsor blast, even though they don't go up. So he has to look like he's waving hello when he does that. What else? He's got really weird waist articulation. Let's just go over the articulation, because this is where it gets weird. So the head, like, it basically just swivels. It's basically all it can do. The shoulders are on ball hinges, and they're also, like, on this butterfly joint. They can move it up and down a little bit. Kind of, I think it's mostly just up and down. Bicep swivel, double-jointed elbows, which look really weird and segmented. It looks really odd. It's interesting. And then you have like a wrist swivel, and then the hinge, and then the fingers. And then the waist, like he's got like a couple joints in there, but all it amounts to is essentially just a bit of a ball joint movement. And then you have legs that can move forward. They can move out all the way. They're actually on ball hinges instead of ball joints, as you can see. Thigh swivel, double jointed knee. Then boot swivel, hinge up and down at the ankle, And then a little bit of an ankle rocker and toe articulation. So overall, articulation's not bad on paper. It's just really awkward. The head's really bad because it's just on a swivel. But did you see that? It like turned back on its own. That's funny. But yeah, it's interesting. He's got a big old vent on his back. That's funny. He's got a butthole, a literal butthole where he can plug in a stand. And you know how I feel about Toy Biz flight stands. They don't work. He does have a cool looking like arc reactor. That looks nice, and some silver punches right there. But his visor, his face mask looks ugly. It just doesn't look good. It looks ugly, and most of the time it's lost. And then you see John Boyega underneath. Kind of does look like John Boyega, doesn't it? Just a little bit. I get a little bit of John Boyega out of that. Not much, though. But yeah, if you find this guy on eBay, this is probably that you'll never get lost. But this is probably the state you'll find him in. No mask. Just that. You know, there you go. Because people lose the mask because it comes off really easy. I mean, it's cool it comes off, and you can actually sorta, kinda get it positioned over. Ooh, that didn't. You could sorta, kinda, like I said, get it up there. So it actually looks kind of cool. I like that look. But it doesn't stay on the greatest. That's why it gets lost. And it looks kind of ugly too. Maybe people just decided, you can see it kind of wibbles. Kind of just wibbles on there. Maybe people just decided to get it, to just lose it. Just throw it off to the side. We're going to leave this off for the rest of the video, by the way. It annoys me. Okay, so that's basically this figure in a nutshell. I want to compare the effect parts later. So let's set him back. Let's just set him off to the side. And let's compare this base figure in a nutshell. The new one. The great one. The almighty one. This guy is amazing. So we pretty much started off with the shoulder weapons on the old one. Let's start off here. They still go up and down. They're on sliders. They're on like their own hinges, which is amazing. And they move side to side. And they don't bump into the head nearly as much. Not until you get them really far. They have more of a spacing. Like they can actually move out pretty much that far. And they can move in about that far before they really impede with the head. And that head... the articulation's gorgeous. It's on like that dumbbell kind of system. And it moves like a dream. And look at that helmet, man. It looks amazing. I love that helmet. And then you have the shoulders, which it's kind of like, I did not expect this at all. This is like that Black Series Stormtrooper that just came out. Where it's got the shoulder pads that are like on their own sort of rail. Like, I love that so much. Like, you could probably... move them independently from the shoulder if you wanted to, but honestly, I don't recommend doing that. So you get really great arm motion. You get a bicep swivel. You get double jointed. You have up and down at the wrists, which you don't have repulsor blast, but then again, War Machine doesn't need them. He's not known for that. That's Iron Man's thing. War Machine's known for the shoulders and the arm mounted. That's what he does. You have the ab crunch that actually works. You have a swivel. You have legs that move forward and they move out great. Thigh swivel. And honestly, for being silver marbly plastic, that looks really good, doesn't it? It just looks really good. It's like the Iron Man 2020. For being gold marbly plastic, that looked amazing, and this is the same. Double jointed knees, which bend in really far. It's really impressive. No boot cut, which it's fine. Unfortunately, the feet don't move up too far, but they move down fine, and they ankle tilt. So base figure-wise, it's great. He does have the arc reactor, but it's just kind of silver this time, which is fine. It's War Machine. It's kind of this style of War Machine's arc reactor. It's usually kind of silvery. And then, this is basically the base figure, right? But he kind of has some accessories beyond the effect parts. Notably one. Unlike the other, he doesn't have a removable mask. He has... Oop, come on, get up. He has an interchangeable roadie head. Which is great. Ooh, come on. Come on, get on. Get on, mate. Almost. It's hard to get stuff on. There we go. Behind the camera. There we go. Interchangeable roadie head. And this is definitely more of a comic book styling. Definitely does not look like John Boyega here. No, sir. He's got a crew cut. He's got facial hair. Looks nothing like MCU War Machine. Looks nothing like the other one we just looked at. He's comic roadie, and I'm definitely down for that. He looks really great. I love how the old one's just laying dead back there. But yeah, this head still retains about the same articulation. Moves great. And you can have him with the helmet still. And it looks good, you know? I'm fine with that. I am fine with that, except it... Oh, phew, I was worried it was going to roll off into oblivion and get lost. I really don't want to deal with that tonight. So let's pop that off and pop this back on, because now it's time to talk about effect parts. So, we are going to compare each effect individually, one versus the other, and determine the winner. So, for the missile pods, on Team Toy Biz, we have these blue missiles with clear and then kind of like a smoky effect coming at the bottom. Not bad. They plug in via plugging into the missiles themselves. So a little iffy. You can see that's basically how they're designed to go. Then you plug it in, and there you go. He's got missiles. Honestly, not bad. I can live with that. I think that's pretty good. And then on Team Hasbro, you have essentially the same thing, except the smoke kind of encompasses more. It kind of goes on the whole thing. It's still firing just 3, but these missiles are actually independent pieces. So that's great. That's honestly really great. They don't look like they actually come out of the missile rack, though. They look way too big. But it does still have the smoke paint. Honestly, when it comes to the missiles, I would say the winner's personal preference. I mean, personally, I think the Hasbro one looks better. I think the smoke looks better. I think the missiles look better. I'm going with Hasbro on this one. And then, for the Pew Pew Bang Bangs, we have on Team... on Team Toy Biz, this. Look at that. It's like it's coming out the middle instead of the actual barrels. But Team Hasbro, they actually have it wrap around the whole thing. And even though it kind of goes at a tip, it makes more sense. It looks like the actual thing is firing. Not perfect. I feel like they could have made the look a little more accurate and faithful, but it's better than that. So I got to give that one to Hasbro. And then we have, oh geez, oh wait, I think I might have put the wrong effect. Yeah, I put the wrong effect. I feel like an idiot. Oh my gosh, this is for the hand. This is the effect you put in here. And as you can see, it does kind of line up with that a little bit, but it's still not. I feel like an idiot, though. Oh my gosh, I put in the wrong effect. They look so similar, don't they? It's like they're all kind of similarly shaped. But yeah, it does actually, correction, I can't hold that against Toy Biz. It does kind of match the barrels. But still, it's permanently pointed down. It's just pointed down. You can't really get it looking any other way. That's just how they made it. It's pointed down. So yeah, the effect's not bad. I'd still have to give it to Hasbro, though. I think they made a more sturdy effect, because this falls out really easily. You can see how loose it is. And then, for the hands, we can keep these out, because stupid me. These kind of plug into the hands, and you have the wrist articulation. You kind of... This is basically how he has to use them. He has to use them like that. So the guns on his wrists have no effects, and that's how he has to use his blasts. Yeah, not the greatest. However, the Hasbro one comes with quite a bit of effects that you can give him. Please stand. Quite a bit of effects you can give him for this. So you have individual blasts. These actually came with the Black Widow, I think. You have individual little ones you can plug in. And you have to be mindful of the kind of the base of the blast. Did that just fall on the floor? Please tell me you didn't fall on the floor. I see it. Okay, good. But yeah, you have to be mindful of the base of the blasts because they might bump into each other. But there's ways you can get these right next to each other and they look fine. You can see right there, they're kind of bumping. You got to get it just right. You got to get it just right. Believe me, they can. They can actually sit next to each other. They can coexist. It's just right now. There we go. Yeah, that works great. It actually looks like little pew 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 pews. I really like that. So you have those effects, and you can use those with other figures. And then, also from Black Widow, and I love these, he's going to be displayed with these, probably. You have smoke coming out, which is amazing. And the sculpts are actually different. So you have smoke coming out of it. That is a total win. I love those so much. And then I love this one. It's like a spray. It's like he sprayed it. You know, it's almost like he's gone... Oh my goodness. It fell out. This one does kind of fall out a lot just because of the shape of it. It's easy to knock it out. You can see it does kind of not want to stay in perfectly all the time. I feel like maybe it's designed to just go this way. I feel like it should go either way, though. The barrels are the same size. Come on. Yeah, it's like he's spraying it. It's like he's going... It just looks so cool. I love that effect. That's a really good one. And then, let's keep him with this one. But nothing for the hands on the Hasbro one. But he doesn't need it. So Hasbro has those. And then finally for the feet. I can't really show these off entirely with the Toy Biz. But you do have these. You have two holes, actually. You can plug them in his toes. Or at his heel. You have these blasts, which... they look like they're just jutting out of a foot. They don't stay on too well. They're not the greatest. But yeah, you have those. And then you can get him on a Toy Biz flight base, and he looks like he's just flying, going... Pfft. Can't really get him looking too dynamic. It's not the greatest. It's not a very good figure, I hate to say. But yeah, he can kind of lean like that. But then this one, he actually has the... Let me get it. He's got the Iron Man 2020 effect parts, which I've actually already talked about. So he has these. He has like the smoke and everything. And these are actually better painted too than Iron Man 2020s. And then, oh, he fell. And then you have the feet. You can plug it in. And these actually stay in pretty well, but those, you're kind of at the mercy there of just them slipping out. But those plug in pretty tight. Get that in. And if you get him balanced right, he will stand on those effects. But he might tilt. You got to be careful with it. You need to play with it. It's not perfect. You still might want him with a base. But you do have these blast effects, which are pretty cool. Me personally, I already have Iron Man 2020 on the shelf with these, so I'm probably not going to have War Machine with these either. But still, it's a cool option, and I think it's... And you can still, like, lift him off, and you can still have the blast like this. So, honestly, gotta give it to the Hasbro for these two. I mean, I think in total, we can say the Hasbro's the winner, right? But we need to remember how long ago the Toy Biz one was made. We need to remember that the 6-inch super articulated action figure industry was budding. It was new. It wasn't an exact science. I mean, Toy Biz were pioneers. They were the explorers. They were the inventors, the tinkerers. They were the ones that kind of kick-started all this. And Hasbro took over, and they were able to... They had a rocky start at first, but they were really able to refine it and almost perfect it. And this is definitely a true evolution, a true old versus new comparison of how far action figures have come. I mean, I could just bash on the old one all I want, but I can still respect it for where it's coming from. It's not that good of a figure. Don't buy it. Get the new one. But, man, it's something. It's something to just see how far we've come. And that's why I make these videos, because I feel like it's important to just see how far we've come in the action figure industry. Now, granted, this thing used to cost like $6, $7, and this is $30, so there's that. But maybe that was $8. I want to say it was maybe $8. But yeah, I mean, the price has gone up a lot. But that's all right. It's okay that the action figure industry's prices have increased astronomically in comparison to that of pretty much any other market or singular item. It's all right. They're making good stuff at least, and we can at least enjoy the good stuff they make. So there we go, old versus new on Marvel Legends War Machine. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Check out my social media links, PO Box address, and frequently asked questions down in the description below. Have a good day, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.